Today is day 10 of Valorant Champions and we have two matches for today, OpTic vs Team Liquid and XSET vs FNATIC. First match of the day is OpTic vs Team Liquid. I think OpTic were the favorite going into this match in general, but the map pick is Breeze for Team Liquid, Bind for OpTic, and then Ascent as the decider. And I honestly think that the map veto favors Team Liquid. Heading to Breeze first, Team Liquid are once again going with the Phoenix, but what's really weird is that Marved is playing Breach. Now, FNATIC were able to make that work on Breeze, so I do wonder how successful it'll be for OpTic. So for round 7, I wanted to take a little bit of a look at how OpTic tried to use the Breach.
Away, Victor needs to make a move, and as he does, he's going to be so vulnerable. Scream with the first. They reset to the back of sight. Possible for OpTic. They need a hero. Crashies does well to find the first, but Marv has to find a way out.
Oh, okay.
The rolling thunder comes in. The swing, and Crashies has 3.
He's got the timing right. Lands the first shot. Last player incredibly low. It's on to Crashies again. He should get the little bit of information, knowing exactly where his opponent will be. But can he finish off the round? He started. No, he can't.
Really good for Yampy to win that clutch there. Looking at the Breach, I think you can see what the idea was. They wanted him to stun through holes, hit backside, then Victor can follow up on the stun. But either the stun came too late or Victor went in too early, and it just did not work out here at all. The ultimate was good though. What I think they could do instead is just have Marv use the entire ult instead of the stun and hit all of backside and all of orange. But the ult usage still ended up working out for them pretty well either way. And in round 20, Ye got unleashed.
Left down to El Diablo, who has managed to find 2. But a 5 HP clutch would be one for the ages. A 1v5 ace needed. He's going to get himself a third already. Tagged up, but one for Ye. He actually has a chance in this. Just one more needed and he can't quite do it.
Imagine if Ye got that. I'm not going to lie. I thought he had it there after you got the first 4, but not quite. The Breach for OpTic didn't end up being that effective. I mean, Marved stats and bottom fragging is one thing, but I think even more than that is just the Breach util. It never felt like it was having a massive amount of impact. There'd be a few nice stuns here and there, but nothing like what we saw from FNATIC the other day. And again, this OpTic team comp is the same as what FNATIC ran like 2 days ago, but OpTic's execution of it was clearly not quite as good as FNATIC's. Map 2 is going to be Bind. Obviously, this is OpTic's map pick, and both team comps are looking fairly standard here. But the difference is going to be a chamber for OpTic. Meanwhile, Team Liquid have a stage instead. I don't think any of the rounds on Bind were fascinating or groundbreaking in terms of any strats or anything, but take a look at Marved and Victor in this round for OpTic.
Problems. A molly kill as Demon goes down, and a few of these players are low. The frag out from Navera buys them time, but they need to follow up, and Marved is denying it all. 1 HP on Solcus. He'll scream back up. They need to deal with Victor. 12 seconds or so to get in there, grab the spike. They need the kill. They've got to drop this man. He's still alive. 6 seconds. Solcus needs to run, and he'll find nothing.
Nice clutch there at the end from Victor. Bind ended up being a pretty standard map overall. If anything, I think Liquid got a little bit closer than most people expected, especially after OpTic won the first 5 rounds in a row. They looked completely in control early on. But OpTic again did manage to close out the map. Ye 8 first kills, 0 first deaths. And I think at this point in the series he was 13-0 in terms of first kills and first deaths. So he was just going crazy. Now for our third map of the series, Ascent. Liquid were probably somewhat favored going into this map. However, OpTic haven't played Ascent for a while, so they may have basically the element of surprise against Liquid. As expected, Liquid are sticking with the Phoenix, while OpTic are running their latest Ascent comp with the triple initiator. Now I think this round for Ascent pretty much sums up the entire match, as Scream reminds everyone why you should never use your Phoenix ult in a 1v1.
The ult through. This could actually be very dangerous. If Scream doesn't find him, he can just go back. He's going to wait for him. This is brilliant from Victor. He's waiting to get that final kill, and I think Scream has made the realization. He's going to knife him to give them their 5th embarrassment for Scream. And elation for Victor.
Now, admittedly, Ascent got a little bit closer than it probably should have. I mean, OpTic won 10 rounds on the attacking half of Ascent, and yet it still got to like 13-8. And if it wasn't for Ye, Liquid might have won, but he had 400 ACS, I think it was, in the first half. Dropped 30 kills overall. Even if Liquid played good on defense, which they didn't, mind you, I don't think they would have had a chance against Ye. The series as a whole was almost the same story. OpTic didn't look great on Breeze, but you sort of expect that since it's not even their pick. And I mean, Ye averaged 300 ACS across the 3 maps in this series. How are you ever going to beat that? So now this means that OpTic can move on to the upper semi-finals. Meanwhile, Liquid dropped into the lower bracket and will have to verse the loser of XSET versus FNATIC. And we'll look at those two teams right now. FNATIC were the favorite for this match, although personally I was rooting for XSET just so they would win both of today's matches. The maps for this series are Pearl for XSET, Fracture for FNATIC, and Ascent as the decider. Looking at Pearl, both teams are running a very similar comp, the only difference being a KO for XSET and a Sky for FNATIC, so maybe we're getting a little closer to a meta team comp for Pearl, although I still can't imagine Viper not being the best controller for this map. For Pearl, I just want to show this round and how XSET play the post plant, because I think it's played really well.
It is planted for Cryo to spam through that box in heaven. Plus the long plant as well.
What a setup, BCJ clearing it out. Moster has fallen. Oh, and Def does too. Again, you have to keep an eye on the flank, but Durka with 3. There's Cryo on the flank! Cryo gets 2, not able to land the 3rd. Aaron, outnumbered, outgunned, somehow stays alive, and Aaron gets them both!
You can see with that planet here, it's mostly planted for long, but at the same time, if you can get someone into heaven, then you basically just win the round for free as an attacker. You can see Cryo goes on this massive flank, ends up coming in getting 2 for free, and you'd probably even expect him to get 3 there. That's just how good that heaven position is when you're attacking post plant. And then the FNATIC players just line up for Aaron and is able to clutch it out. Now, it's not overly surprising that XSET won Pearl. It is their map pick after all, and they've probably been the team playing it the most throughout Champions so far. But FNATIC's attack just looked terrible. They were leaning towards B throughout the entire attacking rounds, and it felt like every single time they were just trying to do the exact same thing. They'd throw up a neon wall, try to get Althea into Hall, and then after those two things happened, it was just the exact same every single round, and very rarely did it work out for them. It looked better on defense, but it wasn't enough to come back from 9-3, and Cryo had a really good map on Chamber as well. Now we're headed to Fracture, which is FNATIC's map pick, and if they weren't already favored enough to win Fracture, XSET's comp is a bit of a strange one. They've got an Omen as solo smokes, as well as no info gathering initiator, like a KO or a Fade. They've only got a Breach instead. Now round 23 has a pretty crazy start. You can see Cryo right here is about to walk into 2 FNATIC players holding this corner.
Waiting for contact. There's the flash.
There it is, and the turn! Cryo gets 1! BCJ shows up in time! And now the Rolling Thunder, Zekin tries to survive, but BCJ is the hero yet again! He's gotten 3 on the round!
FNATIC actually used 2 flashes right here, one from KO and one from Breach, and these at least briefly end up blinding their own players, Althea and Mystic, so they're very easily killed by XSET. And then as the Breach ult comes through, BCJ teleports through it so he doesn't get hit, and then is able to clean up FNATIC. Surprisingly, XSET take Fracture and beat FNATIC 2-0. As much as I think FNATIC looked bad today, full credit to XSET, especially Cryo. This guy was like the anti-clutch. Super disciplined, and a good showing from him on both maps. So this means that OpTic and XSET will play each other, with the winner getting a guaranteed top 3 for Champions. Meanwhile, FNATIC go to the lower bracket and will verse Team Liquid. I also have to bring up the fact that all 3 EMEA teams are currently in the lower bracket, so things are looking a little grim for EU fans. Tomorrow, 2 teams will be sent home from Champions. The first match is between FPX and Leviathan, and the second match is between Team Liquid and FNATIC.